next feature. Now, we'll wait for him to catch us up. There he is. Rokk review. Now look, you see what I've done here. Look, I've brought friend of the channel Andy Morphs in to say hi. There he is. He's up in the corner. You can wave. He won't see you. He won't.
Why did you bring him in? Don't like him.
I tell you why. Because you don't like him. He's lovely. Because today the Rokk review is going to be Get Packed. Get Packed, and Andy did. Full disclosure, Andy did an amazing launch for Get Packed, where the poor sod sat himself in a box for a ridiculous amount of time. I think he lost about 18 stone that day. All in good faith and good humour. He did a cracking job, Andy, and we love him. We love Andy. So I'm going to put a little link in the chat. So go and watch that and enjoy yourselves, because it's great fun. But Andy did a load of Get Packed play, and I thought, well, we could do our little Rokk review while we watch Andy play it. So that's all useful. Let's start from the top. As you know, folks, we do our reviews differently to anybody else. We don't mark on how good they look, or how much effort's gone into the game, or how long it took to develop, or whether it's runs on 48 teraflops and employs the latest NVIDIA card graphics. No, none of that stuff's of use to us. We're casual gamers with very little time. We want to know key things. Is it quick to load? Can you pick up from where you left? What do you mean, yes? I haven't got there yet. Can you pick up from where you left off? Is it easy to play? Is it rewarding? And is it good value? And Duncan, look at him, he can't wait to get going. Let's look at the first one then, Dunk. How quickly can you get into this game from your Stadia library?
You can get in really, really quick. You can just load it up and away you go. For me, it's a 5. You can just load up, play the game. You can play in single player, multiplayer, and just go out there and just jump straight in. The only caveat, if you're playing multiplayer, you may struggle to get a multiplayer game now and again. But for me personally, I think this is more a co-op game. It's not one you would be going on to look at getting matches online. It'd be more once you're messing about with your mates. Mm-hmm. So for me, it is a 5.
A 5. I think I gave it a 4 because you've still got to go through the kind of character choice stuff and choose your game and everything. And you know me, mate, I've got no patience. I would have been an awful doctor. So I just want to get straight in. I gave it a 4 because it is rapid. Once you know the game, you can get in quite quickly. But, it takes a little bit of faffing about just to get stuck in there, doesn't it? Right, so you've given that a 5. I've given it a 4. You can keep count at home, folks.
Yep.
Can you pick up from where you left off, though, Duncan?
Yes and no. This is another one of these games where you dive in and you dive out again. However, there's a single player element to it as well, where you unlock new levels and that stays with you, and you've got all your achievements and all that, whatever you're working on. So in some ways, yes, in some ways, no. But for me, you can't really pick it up as you pick up where you left, because each level's only like 2-3 minutes long, and then that's lost. You can't go and save it at halfway through a level, but your progress is saved per level basis.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now you gave that. Oh, I just need to qualify this, of course. I keep forgetting to say this every week. Not only do we approach this from the casual gamers and busy people context, but I judge them based on people that are pro subscribers, and you judge them based on people that have bought the game. And there's some key factors to that, particularly when we get down to the value part. Because, of course, if I haven't paid for it as a pro subscriber, I'm going to have a slightly different attitude to someone who has. So having said all that, we gave this one, can you pick up from where you left off? You gave it 2 points, and I copycatted you, and I gave it 2 as well. So I think we were on par with that one. So number 3, how easy is it to play?
Anybody can play this game, in my opinion. As soon as you work out how to use the 2 triggers at the back to grab your stuff to chuck into the removing truck, it is really, really easy. And to be honest, for me, the game isn't even about that. The game is about going around trolling people and knocking people out and chucking them into the removing van. So this game, I think it's got a real easy pick up and go play, and you can play it any way you sort of want. It's yeah, it's just a real fun sort of game. You can get into more technical sort of things, which a lot of people don't even know about, where you can actually pack the things into boxes. I don't know anybody who actually
Yeah,
packs the stuff into boxes,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, for me, you can just pick this up and go, and you can teach anybody to play it in the matter of seconds. Just
It,
hold these two buttons, and away you go.
it is great fun, and you're right. There are sort of levels to it. Um, I found it a little bit. I needed a little bit of time to get my head into it because I'm not only a casual gamer, I'm a casual thinker. So if it isn't really, really, really obvious, then if I had to take a little second or two to get my head into it. But overall, though, you're right. It's very easy to get into. I gave it a 4, and you gave it a 5. Maximum scores for that, and I think it's
Yeah,
well deserved.
yeah.
Next up, is it rewarding?
Uh, I have put this as a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it is and it isn't. It's one of these ones where you've got challenges to do in each level if you're going to go down that route. So it gives you things to do and to aspire to, but there's no real end goal for me to make it really rewarding. That the reward comes actually playing with other people, and that's the key thing. The key takeaway for this is if you're playing this by yourself, it is a bit of, I don't want to say a slog. It's too hard of a word. It's not designed to play by yourself. It's designed to play with other people. So if you're sitting here playing this game with other people the whole time, it's going to be a 5 out of 5. If you're playing it by yourself, sometimes it's going to be a 1 because it's not really designed
Yeah,
for that. It's sort of, and it's an in between game.
you're so right. That was my initial concern with the game, and it wasn't funny enough until Lee Stadiumania and I jumped in to spend an hour with Andy during his get packed in a box session, and we were in tears of laughter. And then suddenly the game made sense. I think it is definitely a game you need to play with friends. If you try it solo, it's interesting, but it hasn't got that kind of reward that you get from the fun of just playing it with friends. So Happy Cloud Gamer says I did play one day, got get packed, but I got bored. I was playing alone, and that sadly is the case. I just don't think it has a solo aspect to it, but frankly, you kind of want to play with. I feel sorry for Happy. You should jump on with us, mate. We'll set a little session
Yeah.
up for you. You bless you. Right. So finally, in our Rokk review. Is it value for money, Duncan?
Yep, I believe it is. I gave this a 4 out of 5 for the value for money. It's a cheap game. It's going to be a game which you come back to. I feel when you've got your friends around at Christmas, or you're having a kid's birthday party, or you just fancy a game just to mess about with. It's going to be there in your library, and you're going to spend a lot of time. I think, even with the time I've spent on it at the moment, I think I've got value for money. I actually bought this before this was a pro game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or I was given a code, but I was looking from that perspective. But the it is well worth the money in my opinion. If you're playing in multiplayer, that is the caveat. If you're playing in single player and you don't think you're going to touch multiplayer, it's a game you should not maybe pick up.
How much is it on Stadia, out of interest?
It has went out from my head here how much it is. I'll find that out here in one wee
Don't worry.
sec.
But it has been a
Oh,
pro deal, hasn't it?
yeah.
I don't know if you can still pick it up as I say pro deal, I meant a pro game, one that you could claim. I don't know that it still is. I certainly got it when it was, which is why I mark it highly, because any game that's free is value for me. I mean, you have to pay, but it's we need to know from Duncan's perspective, because of course if it's a triple A title price, then I would suggest that it probably isn't great value, but I don't think it is. I think it's around the 20-25 pound mark.
It's the $20 mark, so I think it's about 15, £16. So it's not. It's in the
Excellent
nice.
value. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with that. That's ideal. And of course, again, CodeSync, great. To be fair, give a little shout out to CodeSync. They are about an hour's drive from where I live, down in the sunny coast of Cornwall. So let's, as I said, let's support indie developers because they're small boutiques. They're putting in huge amounts of work. A lot of the time, they're pushing the boundaries and they're pushing the genres. And a lot of the big games get their ideas from these guys. And I think I'm right in saying, Duncan, as well, that we might be seeing another game from Coatsink coming to Stadia soon.
Yeah, we may be getting another party game from CodeSync called Cake Bash. It has
Hmm.
recently been listed on a ratings agency. So, as we said with the earlier about the APKs, getting rated on a rating agency is a much stronger possibility of things happening rather than the APK. So it looks like it's going to come. Cake Bash is going to be another party game. If you're aware of Mario Party, it looks a bit like that. There are mini games, but in cake format. You can actually play the demo now if you've got an Xbox or you've got a PC. The demo's out there. I have downloaded the demo for the Xbox, and it was quite fun. It's exactly what we call a Stadia game. It's a co-op, drop in and out, looks good on mobile phones, and I think it's got to have crowd play as
I,
well.
and I love the fact that they have a battle royale mode called
Yep,
Gato Royale, which for
yep.
me is worth buying the game alone for. It's, I'm a dad joker punner. That perfect. That fits into my box. Brilliant. Right. Well, that was it. Value for money. So you gave the value for money at 4. I gave it at 5 because I didn't pay for it. We tot all the scores up. We get a pretty decent, actually, for Rokk Review. Overall pro account, that's me, 18 out of 25. Basic account, actually one higher, 19 out of 25, which is great.
That's the
So
first time. First
that
time.
first time you've come in higher than me, mate. And
Yep.
so overall, yep, it's a good pickup for casual gamers and a hoot to play with friends. I think.
And one wee tiny caveat. I
Yes.
believe there's going to be an update to get packed in the coming months because of crowdplay. Crowdplay is confirmed coming to get packed, so expect
Ah.
a little update to that in the coming
Well,
months.
that's exciting. Would that mean that they would increase the amount of multiplayers that could play at the same time?
I'm not sure about that part,
Ooh, doesn't need to, of
but
course. I mean, just the fact that you've got a slot and you can link it out to people in YouTube and they can jump in and play. Doesn't matter if it's only one. But I get excited. The more people we can get in, it becomes absolute chaos and great fun. And I'd love to see this game with, I don't know, 20 people bashing into each other, trying to grab each other's stuff, and the van
yeah,
getting beaten up and graffitied. And it'd just be like a normal day in my neighborhood, mate.
yeah. Uh, Again, it's just going to be one which is going to be added to the streamer. Or if you're a game streamer, that'll be just in your library, and you could just start that up, and you can get people in to play it. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out that and see what yeah, they may act.
Fantastic.
They may actually add more bits and bobs to that when they.
Yeah.
I think it might be like maybe a possible relaunch of the game when it actually comes out and with the crowd play.
Looking forward to that. Great stuff. Thank you very much for the old Rokk review there, Duncan.